right. Let's see if we can get things started and okay, good. Maybe. Okay, good evening, friends. Thanks so much. If you are on tonight, I don't know if we're going to have very many people on tonight with it being Sunday and Memorial Day, but we're going out to a barbecue tomorrow. Hey, Rosie, thanks for joining. It's tomorrow night, so I wanted to go ahead and not miss a live, so we're going to do that tonight. Tonight, if you're on, give me a shout out. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to do a fun fold using the Stay Tuned bundle. So this is a super, super fun bundle. When I saw it in the catalog, I fell in love with it. It's super retro, super groovy, and it is so much fun. And I think it's a pretty inexpensive bundle at that. Which I'm loving Stampin' Up. Hey, Susan, thanks for joining. I love that Stampin' Up has some more inexpensive bundles. Like, normally they're like right at 55, 60 bucks. This one I think is only 45, but super cool bundle. So here's the card. It is a fun fold, and when you open it up, it pops open. And hey, Karen, thanks for joining. So you've got this cute little TV set, which is so fun. And what I love about, hey Mary, thanks for joining. What I love about the In Colors that were released last summer, they give a very retro vibe. So I paired it with Lost Lagoon and some Mossy Meadow, and I just feel like this is, all I can say is groovy. It is fun. What a fun set. So we're going to set this aside. And we're going to make another one. I may make it again later on this week in some like funky, like the pretty and pink, and maybe some summer splash. I don't know. I may have to give some color combos another try with this one because it is such a fun set. All right. So first off, we are going to, hey Lori, thanks for joining. We're going to do our stamping first, and then we're going to build our card. So I've got my envelope, and I've got my, a piece of Very Vanilla. So this is measuring 4 by 5 1/4, I believe. All the measurements will be on my blog. Yeah, this is 4 by 5 1/4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up, if I can find my early espresso. We're going to ink this up and give it a nice little stamp. And I probably need to re-ink my early espresso. So I'm going to just kind of really try to get that on there. Okay. And on this one, it doesn't really matter where it's going. We're just kind of putting it in the center. So I've got it. Hey, Vicky. Thanks for joining. All right. So, ew. We're gonna try to fix this. I kind of missed pushing it down at the bottom. So I'm gonna bring out my Stampin' Right marker, and I'm gonna see if I can't just kind of etch that right there. There we go. So if you don't have Stampin' Right markers, you need to get them, because they're gonna help you out with those little goofs like that. Okay, now I'm going to take my copper clay, and I'm going to yank that dog hair off there, and I'm going to ink that up with the birthday. And I love the fonts on this stamp set. They are fun. All right, we'll do that. And let me look here. Did I do? Nope, I didn't. And then, oh, please tell me I haven't stopped. Sometimes when I'm on Facebook, it gives me this little message that the video has ended when it really hasn't. So we're just going to go on while that's refreshing. Okay, it says we're still going. That's refreshing. Whoop, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to ink up some copper clay with these fun little diamonds, and I'm just going to put them on my envelope. Okay. I'm gonna wash that off with my chamois. Get all that off. And then, let's see here, what else do I need to, I probably need to add my top to, oh, let's do, okay, I die cut the center of the TV. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this stay tuned for an important message. So the other cool thing about this stamp set, ooh, I got ink all over my block. What was I doing there? Okay, so you do have to be careful because this isn't perfectly symmetrical, I don't think. So I put the rounder side up at the top. And I'm going to stamp that with the copper clay. And it fits pretty good on there. Now the other one that's really cool is you can use the news flash stamp on here to kind of brighten that up as well for that front of your card. Okay, now I am going to go ahead because I feel like we need it. I'm going to stamp the antennas on there. So I'm going to ink those up with Early Espresso, yeah. Now, perfect. All right, so that's the inside of our card. That's pretty much the only stamping that I'm going to do. Like I'm looking through going, did I miss something? I really haven't. So now we're going to get to the fun stuff. This is the stuff that I love to do. All right. If you've watched me before, you know I love my Simply score tool. I've got 2 pieces of cardstock. So I have an 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score that at 4 1/4. So this is going to be your standard card base fold. So just 8.5 by 5.5. I guess it's 5.5 by 8.5, and then we're scoring at 4 1/4. And so this one, because of last week's befumble, I went ahead and wrote it down. So this is 5 3/8 by 8 3/8, and we're scoring at 4 1/8 and 6 1/4. Okay, so the reason I love this score tool, if you haven't heard my spiel before, is because it gives super deep impressions when you're doing fun folds, and I love to do fun folds, so that's the reason for that. I'm going to fold the first card base, so this is the big card base, and I'm going to score that with my bone folder, and then I'm going to cut this in half, or fold this in half. Make sure I've got a nice fold. So this is the card base that goes on the inside. And then we're going to fold it over. And yes, perfect. So those measurements were right. So yeah, those measurements will be available on my blog tomorrow if you need to do this card. If you do it, tag me in it. I want to see how it looks. All right. We are going to take some seal and we're going to put it on the inside. This is our inside of the card. And we're going to do that nice little edge around there. I'm going to pull that down a little bit. Okay, and then I've got a piece of that Groovy copper clay DSP that you get. And I love the circles. So we're going to put that on the front. So this is the piece that goes on the inside. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the card base and we're going to add these circle or the stripe pattern with the wild wheat. And I'm only going to put my adhesive right here on the sides because we're going to die cut this. But I go ahead and adhere it because if it gets off just a little bit, it's not going to open right. Okay. So right there on the side, let's put all of this out of the way because now we're going to have to get my die cutting machine here. All right. So I'm bringing in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And let's see here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do and then I'll move it. Okay. So I've got my 3 layers. The cool thing about the cut and emboss is you can do so many different things and it tells you how to layer everything. So we're die cutting. So I'm going to layer that right there. And I didn't do this on my desk earlier today, so hopefully I can do this. Yikes. Okay, so here's the top of the card. So we're going to layer this right here, kind of right in the center. Now, I am going to bring in my stamp and make sure that there's enough room to put our antenna on the top, because I think the antenna is super cute and you don't want to miss it. Okay, Post-it tape. This stuff is awesome. So I use this just to die cut and make sure everything's straight. So I'm going to put that on there, and that's going to hold my die where I want it to be. So I get this on Amazon, and I just have it on auto ship, the little thin stuff. And they send me some about every 3 months. All right, I'm just looking at this off the camera to make sure that it's nice and straight. And it is. So now I'm gonna put my clear top on here, and we're just gonna die cut this out. Okay, we'll move that out of the way. Here's our die cut piece. I can just peel this off, and I just usually stick it over in part of my work area, and then I reuse this. But the nice thing is this is a low tack. It's tacky enough that it holds it there, but it's low tack. So now we have our little thing. So I'm definitely going to peel this apart. I'm definitely going to save this because this is a scrap I can die cut with. And, you know, I can probably find something fun to do with that too. Okay. So now let's put the whole thing together. Okay, so we have, I better put this die up or I'll lose it. Okay, so because this is a fun fold, I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal. So Stampin' Seal Plus, that's what I'm using, Stampin' Seal Plus. See, Stampin' Seal Plus or tear tape works a little better with these fun folds. And I'm going to use quite a bit of adhesive, just because we want to make sure that it holds. So we're sticking it right there so that you've got just a little bit of edge. So you've got your nice little matte look right there. So when we fold this, now we can build our card. So I've die cut that TV again with Early Espresso, because once again, I think that's just another retro groovy color, and it sticks right in there. So I'm gonna take some Seal now. So I'm using, I'm gonna use Seal Plus, just because I think that's gonna be, make sure I've got the right side. And I'm only putting it on one side. So I'm gonna close that up, pop it in, and just do a little burnish. So there's our card, and it just flips open. Super cute. Now, I can't remember. Yes, I did. I'm like, I can't remember. I tried dimensionals on all of this, but it didn't work. So I tried dimensionals popping this up, and it didn't open it up very well. So, here we go. We're bringing out my nemesis, the liquid adhesive. You guys, I'm so glad you like this card. Thank you. I love this collection, and I love it with the in colors. It's super groovy. Okay, I'm gonna line that up in the center as good as I can. And then I've got some other die cuts here. So I've got our black antennas. So these are going directly on the card front, not on the TV itself. So it just takes a little bit of adhesive right there. I may pop a little bit right here. Here we go. All right, then I found these groovy little die cuts here. So I used this, and I cut it in a couple of different colors just so I could add it where I felt like it would work. I'm gonna do a little bit of copper clay here. We're gonna do some mossy meadow. We'll put this down at the bottom. So this just adds just a little bit more to get that groovy effect, in my opinion. All right. Now we've got these cute, oh, I love this piece. This is my favorite. Look at the detail on that die cut. So I cut that with gold foil. We're going to put that down here in the center. And then we'll add the knobs. So there's 2 knobs that you can cut out with that same piece. I'm glad you guys like it tonight. Thanks. So we're just gonna, and it doesn't really matter how you put your knobs on there. Like, oops. You little booger. Don't come up. So I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to cause too much like crinkle wrinkle with that foil. That's the nice thing. It takes a really beautiful impression, but at the same time, if you're not careful, there we go. Look how stinking adorable this is. I love this little guy. All right, we'll finish him up with a couple of the neutral sequins. So these are returning from the old annual catalog. So we've got these for another year, which I love. And I think I love this early espresso kind of like right here. Yeah. Do a little copper one here. Okay, here's the card. There's your card front. Perfect for any age group. How fun is that? Rosie, I'm going to be honest with you. Groovy is something that I have said for years and years and years. You know, obviously, well, not obviously. I am not old enough to be around during that time frame, but I do enjoy that word. Okay, last thing, let's add a little bit of DSP to that stamped envelope. I will once again have all of these on my on my blog tomorrow. All right, here we go. If you're here in the US, I hope you take time to think about those that are no longer with us, and for the price they paid for our freedom. We definitely will be doing that. So that's why we're doing this tonight and not tomorrow night, because we are going to go over and grill with some friends and try to celebrate a little bit. All right, here is today's card. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back here next Sunday night. I don't know what we'll create, but hopefully it'll be fun. You have a good one.